lot of conversations about Med Supp, right? Like
Sure.
for those of you watching that don't know, you've lived under a rock of sorts. There's been a lot of volatility the last couple of years in many places with many carriers in the Med Supp space, some of which carriers that typically might have been known for having relatively friendly and reasonable rate increases in a lot of cases, not mentioning any names or anything like that. But you have a very thought out, data driven thesis in terms of why we're seeing this. I kind of want to pass you the mic a little bit and kind of let you break this down for the people.
Yeah.
And then Glenn and I can kind of jump in as we go and ask additional questions and add additional thoughts or anything we need to contribute to make sure we're earning our keep on this episode today.
Sure. So I think the first thing I would say is everything I'm going to tell you today is not as a representative of any carrier. It's just as someone who has inside's not the right word. Someone who's given their life to the Medigap arena for the past decade and loves this industry and wants to continue seeing this industry thrive, right? So because of that, there are some, I'm not even going to say players, there's some pink elephant's not the right word. There's some giant blue whales in the room that no one's talking about. And they need to be pointed out. So when we're looking at the landscape of Medigap as a whole currently, the largest blue whale in the room, pink elephant, is the rate increases, right? Rate increases and loss ratios. The largest blue whale in the nation. So for those who don't understand what rate increases are, it's obviously your premiums going up. And for those who don't understand what loss ratios are, because you're going to hear that word a lot today thrown around, a loss ratio is a mathematical equation. It's premium brought in on a plan divided by claims paid out for those plans. So it's premium divided by claims, right? So looking at the landscape currently of Medigap, I was on what do you call it? I was at Medicarians. I was on a panel, and the panel was essentially what is the future of Medigap, and no one really brought this up. The two things that were brought up were this. The first thing, and they're both mostly true. The first thing was since COVID, a lot of people have put off elective surgery. So do this with me. Pretend you got this 2D mountain, right? Okay. Got a napkin here.
Whoa!
You got this mountain. That's a triangle.
We have that. We only work with the highest technology here on the pod.
Yeah, okay. ChatGPT can't even buy this. Right? So you got this mountain, and up one side of this mountain, that's an elephant, by the way.
Andrew is so committed to not using AI that he's going to extreme lengths this morning on the podcast. When he said he didn't like it,
this came to me.
For the audio, hang on a second. For the audio only audience, I want you to know what just happened. And for those only listening, we have a napkin that Andrew's holding to the camera with a triangle that he's using a highlighter with a triangle. There's an elephant on the top left side of this triangle, and it's named COVID. It's a COVID elephant on the top left side of this highlighter pyramid. Okay, the audio-only audience is up to speed. I just wanted to make sure we don't leave them out.
Thank you for that.
I'm gonna cry. All right, so you got this one elephant climbing this mountain. His name's COVID. And to a degree, I'm with you. All right, so COVID hit. A lot of people were putting off elective surgeries, right? Maybe knee replacement, maybe rotator cuff repair, something that wasn't an emergency, that was life or death. They were putting it off to a future period where COVID died down, or the herd mentality came in, and the disease was not affecting people like it was previously.
Right.
And then they were going in the hospital, outpatient clinics, outpatient surgeries, having these surgeries, right? All right. So that's one elephant climbing this side of the mountain. Now let me draw my next elephant. And I don't know if I'd say this looks like an elephant, but it's the best I got right now. I'm not a good driver. A good drawer. So the second elephant on the other side of the mountain over here, this is called Mount Medigap, by the way. And we call it MM for short. This is Mount Medigap right here.
For the record, I believe you are a good driver, no matter what you say.
Thank you, brother. I do appreciate that. So on Mount Medigap, one side you got COVID, the other side you got an elephant climbing, and it's called under 65, whether it's on a group plan or ACA, right? So according to Limmer right now, almost 70% of the people on a group plan are on some form of a high deductible plan, right? Usually have an HSA, but they're on some form of a high deductible plan. Because they're on a high deductible plan, and I could poll probably any state in the nation right now and ask any teacher, how's your group plan look compared to 10 years ago? And I believe every teacher, probably in all 50 states, if you were to ask that question, if they've been with the same district for the past decade, would tell you, well, it's only got worse, right? Mm-hmm. Usually, group plans aren't getting better. Usually, they're becoming more, they're trending towards single payer healthcare, where you're taking on a larger responsibility of the deductible and hopefully taking on a premium that's not horrific. But I tell you, not everybody's that way. I pay about $450 a month for my insurance, and I think I got a $12,000 or $15,000 max on it, something like that. So I mean, it's not the most attractive thing in the nation. Here's the point, though. They brought up Medicarians, and they're right. Coming up this side of the mountain, group plans aren't getting better. So where someone might have had that surgery in Mount Medigap, where someone might have had that surgery before, now they're not. And these two elephants are climbing this mountain, bro. It's killing me. And they're crashing, right? They're crashing on the side of this mountain. Now, both of those things are true. Both of these things are true, right? Both of these, maybe I'll just do Mount
Both of these elephants are real, okay?
Both of these are real. Now, is the COVID elephant as real as it was in 2021 or 2022, especially on these new open blocks of business that have already seen the past 3 or 4 years of loss ratios?
Probably not.
But okay, hang on. Devil's advocate about this, because
go ahead, brother.
I think similar to the supply chain issues that happened during COVID, right?
Sure.
Some of it's fake, some of it's real, some of it's never recovered. And I have a feeling that the internal health, the hospital system that handles these types of procedures, there might be an effect that's felt for years, right?
Sure.
I mean, there's definitely some of that probably still going on.
Probably that lasting after effect is the increased cost of medical care, right? Medical care costs more. It's probably as simple as that. That being said, though, they can't point to increased cost of medical care when that block of business rolled out after the costs already increased.
They got 5 years of experience with it. They've seen what's happening. Yeah, right. I think that's the point too. But no, I agree with you. So I think these two elephants are real. I do. I think they're real. I think Mount Medigap's real. I think we just refuse to acknowledge Mount Medigap here. We're going to start acknowledging there? It now.
How do we get there? Can we go
it's
there?
In Omaha, Nebraska.
I want to have a
Mount Medigap.
I want to have a mastermind retreat at Mount Medigap with my closest friends.
Beautiful. Be beautiful, brother. Beautiful. So let me tell you the problem. So this is a 2D map, right? Looks like a little Mario game, right? Like a little 2D map. Now, what no one's talking about is the gigantic blue well that's coming up on a 3D mountain that's coming up on this backside. So hold on. Let me draw this backside.
By the way, at the end of this podcast, Andrew Saul, please post a picture of this napkin.
I'm actually going to sign it and give it away.
Send it to us.
Sell it to the highest
Send
bidder.
it to us. Yeah.
I will. Honest to God, I'm bringing it to Salt Lake City. It's coming with me.
Here's a better idea. Do a drawing at your Physicians Mutual booth at the summit.
For the winner.
The
winner of the drawing gets the autographed artwork from this show.
Put it in a nice picture frame.
We're going to give it away for free at the end, just whoever wins the drawing. All right, Mount Medigap, you got the COVID elephant, you got the under 65 elephant. But on the back of this mountain that no one can see and no one's talking about, you got a really big elephant back here. And this guy's initials are CRS. Now, here's the problem. It's an actuarial term I'm going to give you, but it's reality. It's called charter rotation strategy. You guys ever heard the terminology charter rotation strategy before?
No.
Essentially, what it means is this. This is what you've been seeing the past decade. And there's some carriers that when I say this, you're going to point and say, that's what this freaking person's been doing, right? So charter rotation strategy works like this. The idea is to come in. So let's take your biggest Medigap carrier in the nation right now, owns about 15% of the market share, okay? The charter rotation strategy would work like this. You come in with a premium that undercuts whoever owns the most lives in the nation, a premium that even though that carrier who owns the most in the nation can't sustain, come with a premium that's too good to be true, or an introductory premium, maybe that's better language, that they can't, that the largest carrier couldn't sustain if they had that. On your open block, you let's say you need a $150 a month plan G just to hit bare minimum loss ratios, right? So you come in with a $115 a month plan G, knowing you're going to lose profit your first reality 10 to 15 years on your block of business. You know you're not going to turn a profit for the first 10 to 15 years on this block of business.
That's a long time.
Once you hit year 11 through 16, whatever it is your actuaries have priced out for you, then you'll start hitting profits. And I'm going to show you all this in just a second. So y'all just don't take
Hang on a second. I have a question. I have a question about this because I was under the impression that there were rules in place that keep them from operating at a loss for more than 2 or 3 years. So
give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes.
I was like, whoa.
That's not correct. Now, there is a rule. Every DOI in the nation mandates that your block of business must maintain a minimum of 65% loss ratios once you've been in the business, been on the market for 3 years for that underwritten bar. Right?
Okay. That's the rule.
That's probably what you're referring to.
Yeah.
So they're coming in the market, rates that are too good to be true, operating and taking a loss, trying to gain as much market share as they can. Now, ultimately, what market share are they going after? So in the actuarial world with Medigap, I'm going to use some simple math for you. Let's say your goal is to be as close to the number one as possible. Okay. Just the number one with me. Every underwritten app you bring in is a 0.5. So that brings you even better than a number one, right? Every guaranteed issue app you bring in is worth 2 points. So that brings you real far away from the number one. Every open enrollment app you bring in is 1.1 points. So if all you're getting is open enrollment apps, your rates are going to go through the roof. You can't sustain it because there's too many people coming on that are using your services that are driving up your loss ratios. If all you got was GI business, that would really turn you out, right? Because now you're only getting people who are not coming on underwritten or open enrollment. They have a reason that they can only come on GI. But if you're getting underwritten business, you're getting business that can pass your set of standards, right? So the goal for someone coming in with this charter rotation strategy is to bring as much underwritten business on your block of business while also swallowing up that turning 65. It's not bad business turning 65. It's just not as good as underwritten, right? To take as much of that business as you can. Ideally, you're looking at 40+% underwritten. If you can maintain a book at 40+% underwritten, this charter rotation strategy is going to work for you, right? So that's the goal. Undercut the market. Know you're going to take losses for a decade or more till you can finally turn a profit. And the result isn't who can operate on the lowest profit margin, right? If that was the case, then we would have seen some of the carriers who recently got out of the market stay in the market.